I hope this is important. This is the third time that I have had to cancel a round of golf with a client's husband.
Oh, I know how that must tear you up. After all, you despise golf.
True, but I love the stock tips that I get when I...
Television that watches out for you. The God Channel.
I hope this is important. This is the third time that I have had to cancel a round of golf with a client's husband.
Oh, I know how that must tear you up. After all, you despise golf.
True, but I love the stock tips that I get while I'm playing it.
There'll be other opportunities. But the opportunities to lure Ben Martin over to the Institute are not as plentiful. You've missed a significant one, Brian, darling. I'm disappointed in you.
He is here yet?
I doubt it, but I will go check the ground.
I will stay here and guard the princess and the jewels. This is a momentous day, Your Highness. What happens here may very well determine the future of our country.
In it, Vale. He and Laurie probably met a couple of movie stars. Having lunch with senators and sitting around a roaring fire with millionaires.
Probably.
And I'll bet you Ben Martin hadn't given this place one thought. Well, why aren't you as annoyed as I am about him taking off on us like this? You're the one that got stuck taking up the slack. Well?
It's probably treating more patients with less care than ever. This vacation will make matters worse, and I could go on, but I won't. I'm annoyed, Lucy, but if I think about it, I'll just get frustrated and take it out on others. One person around here doing that is enough.
Right. Sorry about that.
You have a right to take out your frustrations, too.
Yeah, nothing, I guess. Movie stars.
What?
Movie stars. Did you know that Connie Fontaine and I are exactly the same age?
Connie Fontaine, the actress?
Well, I don't think anybody'd ever accuse her of being an actress, but she is a star. And she's beautiful, and she's rich. And she was born on exactly the same day I was.
Oh, congratulations.
Tell me something. How can anybody who's been on and off pills and booze for 30 years, who's had more husbands than I've ever even had dates, how in the world can anybody like that, who's lived a life like that, look as good as she does?
Well, it's all done with mirrors.
I don't like what mine's showing me these days.
Well, now you know when they say that man looks at outward appearances, but God looks at the heart.
Translation, you're being a fool, Lucille.
No, not at all. We all like to look our best. But Hollywood makes an idol out of beauty and youth.
Yeah. I guess she can't be happy on the inside, huh? Connie Fontaine, I mean.
No one was outside,
It's okay, come on in. What's the trouble, honey?
My name's Monica Evans. I'm with Upbeat Magazine, and I'm looking for...
Who? Upbeat. The Upbeat Magazine.
Yes.
Are you a reporter?
Yes, in fact, I'm here to interview...
What articles have you written? I bet I've read every single one of them.
Well, I mostly do the profile section, but for...
You mean interviews with movie stars?
Well, not all of them.
Did you do the one with Elizabeth Taylor? Or Tom Selleck? Or
Lucy,
what?
you haven't even given her a chance to tell us why she's here.
That's all right. I didn't do the one on Elizabeth Taylor, but I did do the one on Tom Selleck.
You gotta be kidding. What's he like?
Lucy?
Oh, he's charming.
What can we do to help you, Miss Evans? And I'll put my hand over Lucy's mouth so you can answer.
Well, I've been assigned to the real-life hero section for a little while,
Did you read the one about the lady that had the sick... I'll be quiet. It was incredible.
Yes, most of the stories in that section are, including the one that I've been asked to do. Now, a recent Medical Association award was brought to our attention, and we feel that you have quite a real-life hero working in this clinic. Dr. Ben Martin?
Charles wants us to pay off the promissory note for the Salaam Bible, doesn't he?
That's right. How'd you know?
Well, you forget I was Charles' lawyer for more years than I care to admit. Frankly, I was expecting this little visit somewhat sooner.
Well, and you're not angry?
I'm kind of proud of myself for figuring out what Charles would do before he did it. How did he get the board of directors to go along with him?
I don't know, but what I heard, it was tasteless.
Well, with Charles, that's always a given. Okay, why don't you take him this message? The Salaam Bible would never have been removed from the museum if the museum had not insisted that they could not provide adequate security to guarantee its safety. This was not my idea, nor was it the idea of my client. We both objected to it. I protested several times. I have witnesses who will testify to that in court if need be. Now, the Bible would not have been put in the danger that it was if the museum had not insisted that we provide our own security. Charles was well aware of that as a member of the board, and he is, in effect, therefore, directly responsible for what happened. So I'm not going to add insult to my client's injury by suggesting that he pay off one single penny of the promissory note. Now, you think you can carry all that message to him, or you think maybe I ought to write it all down?
No, I'll tell him.
Good, good. That's my official position. You want to hear my unofficial one?
Sure.
I would hate to go to court and try to defend that position, because I think the museum has a much stronger case. So I'm going to recommend that my client sell the Bible to that crazy princess, if it ever turns up again. She's the only one in the world that knows why it's worth over $1 million. And in the meantime, I've taken some steps which you might be interested in. I've sent my man to Washington with a petition to have the princess's diplomatic immunity revoked.
Well, that's excellent. About time somebody did something about it.
That's what I thought. That's why I did it. I expect to hear from him any day now.
Yeah, I wish we could have done that before Sergeant Brubaker got suspended.
Well, I'm sure when that revocation comes through, he'll be reinstated. With honors.
Hope so. Bye.
We'll see you.
I haven't missed any opportunities with Ben.
No. What about Nancy Lawson?
What about her?
I understand she consulted with you recently about having the scar on her neck reduced.
So?
So? She's Laurie Martin's aunt.
And?
Really, Brian, must I point absolutely everything out to you?
Oh, in this case, you absolutely must. If you have something to say, say it.
I want you to perform the surgery on Nancy Lawson and not charge her.
I see. And when the Institute asks me why I have done such a thing, what am I supposed to tell them?
The truth.
It's a novel idea.
Look, they want Ben Martin there just as badly as I do.
Nobody ever wants anything as badly as you do, Vanessa.
Just simply tell them that doing this will make his coming there seem more attractive to him.
Oh, by that logic, he should have wanted to go to work for the mechanic that fixed his car.
If you have ambitions of becoming a stand-up comic, I really wish you'd practice on somebody else.
Gladly.
Don't you want to know why I think it's going to work?
Gosh, I thought I'd never ask.
Careful, darling. You know, sometimes I think we know each other too well.
Familiarity certainly does breed contempt.
At the very least, it takes the edge off admiration.
Among other things. Well?
If you were to characterize the Bedford Institute in one word, what would that word be?
Overpriced.
Close. But I think exclusive would be less crass.
Well, no one ever accused me of not being crass.
Now, how would you characterize the Chesterfield Free Clinic?
One word again?
If it's not too much of a strain.
Oh, I love word games. Let's see. How about underbreast?
Oh, you're so original, darling.
I try.
Yes, that's what's so frightening. Your mission, should you decide to accept it...
And I don't, but, I mean, that's all right.
...is to make the Bedford Institute seem as much like the Chesterfield Free Clinic as possible.
I got a better idea, something a little easier. Why don't I just fly over to Moscow and try to convince the entire Russian army to put down their guns and take up precision tap dancing?
You're always saying no before you give me a chance to explain.
It's because your explanations always make sense. Before I know it, I'm doing something I don't like.
Well, this is no exception.